very fortunate here in Petaluma and Sonoma County in particular, and like I said, California, to be way ahead of the curve in how we deal with de-escalation and how we deal with use of force issues. You know, and all of those things that happen, while they're tragic, they are unfortunately for our case, learning tools. They are examples of what we don't want to happen here, and so we use those things as...
We spent 3.5 hours at our last staff meeting talking about the Ferguson report. We all had to read it in preparation, a couple hundred pages in preparation for our staff meeting, and talk about, because so much in that report, not about what happened that day, but all of the things that led up to this distrust between the community and the police department. And then we just had a candid discussion. Are there any things that we've done, or any policies or any practices we've had that could be contributing to distrust? In fact, we talked about the prior tow agreement, and so much of that Ferguson report that the police department and the city was using enforcement practices as a way to raise revenues for the city. And we didn't even hear as much about that on the news, but when you read through that report, it's pretty apparent that there was a lot of pressure to go out and write tickets for all these violations and try to raise revenue.
Even though these things take place so far away from here, we take very, very close look at them every time they happen to make sure that we're not falling victim to the same sorts of circumstances that led up to those behaviors in the other areas. We're constantly...
You used an interesting word, de-escalation. If you've got a tense situation, do you guys try to, de-escalate it before making a tough decision?
We had across the street in the hotel last week, we had a guy that was refusing to leave his room. He created disturbance all night long. People were calling in. And our officers spent at least a half hour there. Ultimately, they had the manager order him to leave the hotel. He refused. We arrested him for trespassing on a citizen arrest from the manager. But I was so proud of in fact, I shared it at one of our meetings, so proud of our officers, the level of patience that they used in dealing with that guy. And I'm proud of the way our officers...
Do you remember Occupy Petaluma? You remember the Occupy movement? Yeah. So we were a model agency when it came to that, because traditionally in the past, those situations with Occupy Petaluma and past protesters could always end up in sort of violent confrontation.